What if the day that changes everything isn't some thundering awakening, but a whisper? What if the revolution that rewrites your destiny doesn't come with trumpets, but a quiet realization that this is not how the story ends? There's a moment, a flicker of clarity, when a person sees themselves, not in the mirror, but in the ruins of their excuses. In that moment, something ancient stirs, a desire not born of ego, but of truth. The desire to rise, not for applause, not for revenge, but to reclaim what's always been theirs, the power to change. This is that day. The day when average dies. The day when silence gives way to decision. And it begins not in the world, but in you. In 1957, a young man, 26 years old, broke, struggling with a baby at home, stood face to face with his shame. He had promised the Girl Scouts he'd buy cookies, $2, but when they knocked, he couldn't do it, couldn't afford it, so he lied. He said, maybe next time. But as he closed that door, something cracked inside. That man was Jim Rohn. That day, that lie, was the day that turned his life around. Because nothing haunts a man like betraying who he knows he could be. There is a law older than gravity, deeper than strategy, the law of the turning point. It says, a man changes when his pain of staying the same becomes greater than his fear of change. The chains don't break because of willpower. They break because of clarity. Like Earl Nightingale once said, we become what we think about. But the tragedy is, most never think long enough. They think in fragments, scattered by distraction, numbed by noise. But you, right now, you're thinking clearly. For once, deeply. You feel the weight. You feel the mirror
pressing against your pride. And that pressure, that's potential fighting for oxygen. Jim didn't get rich overnight. No one does. But he made a decision. I will never again be the man who cannot afford to buy cookies from a little girl. That wasn't a goal, that was a declaration. There's a difference. Goals live on paper, declarations live in your bones. Carnegie didn't write down a dream. He declared steel would build the future. Rockefeller didn't hope. He decided oil would light the world. Decisions are the birthplace of destiny. But what holds us back? It isn't lack of opportunity, it's the illusion of someday. The lie that says, you still have time. Someday is a thief dressed in comfort. It steals your urgency. It lulls you to sleep in the soft pillow of potential. But potential unfulfilled is hell. That's the silent suffering of millions, smiling on the outside, dying inside. They say, I'll start next week, and next week becomes next year, and next year becomes never. Until the door shuts, and they are left with a resume of regrets. Understand this, there is no power in a maybe. There is no fire in a kinda. Life does not respond to lukewarm ambitions. It bends to the man who commits. Like Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow Rich, the starting point of all achievement is desire. Not a wish, but a pulsating desire which transcends everything. Desire is not enough. It must become obsession. Obsession wrapped in discipline. Discipline forged in identity. You want change? Then burn the books. Cortez didn't conquer the Aztecs with an army. He did it with a decision. He landed, then burned the ships. No retreats, no plan B, just one path, forward. That is how the day turns your life around. Not by chance, not by luck, by cutting off escape to who you used to be. Because if the old you still has a key to your future, he will return and he will sabotage it. This is not about motivation. Motivation fades. This is about transformation. It is the quiet moment when a person reintroduces themselves to their own power. And yes, it will cost you. Growth always does. The price? Comfort, old habits, small dreams, and the applause of people who secretly hope you will fail, so they don't feel so bad about not trying. Let them go. Let the old circle break, because lions do not apologize for leaving sheep behind. Do you know what regret sounds like? It doesn't scream. It whispers in hospital beds. It echoes in empty driveways. It breathes through the sighs of the man who says, I almost, I could have, I should have. You are still breathing, which means you still have a shot to silence that voice before it becomes yours. Henry Ford wasn't the smartest, but he understood leverage. He said, I don't need to know everything, I just need to hire people who do. Likewise, you don't need to know every step, you just need to start walking. Momentum creates clarity, discipline creates direction, action kills doubt. Most people are standing at the edge of a pool hoping to learn swimming by watching YouTube videos. It doesn't work that way. You want transformation? Jump in. You will learn faster drowning in discipline than standing safe in indecision. When you decide that today is the day, you don't wait for proof, you become the proof. You walk like it, talk like it, breathe like it, because identity comes before results. Jim Rohn didn't wait to be rich before he changed. He changed before he got rich. The world didn't notice at first. That's how it works. The beginning is always quiet. But over time, that one moment of decision multiplies. A new routine, a new voice, a new circle, a new result. That's the revolution. That's how the day turns your life around. Not by outside miracles, but by an inside shift. So here you are, standing at the door. One side is everything you've known. Excuses dressed as logic. Routines disguised as rocks. The other is the unknown. Risk, fire, growth, pain, glory. And it all starts with a whisper that becomes a roar. Never again.